At the end of the day, credit is based on credibility. If they can't trust you, why should they mess with you? So that being said, these are some timeless methods to beat the credit metrics as it relates to your credit score, because it's always going to be based on their ability to trust you. That's it at the end of the day. And it makes sense because you wouldn't continue to loan or allow somebody to tap into your reserves if you didn't trust them. That's just the fact of the matter. So once you get that understanding, now you can say, you know what, this just makes sense. And now you know how to play the game in a way to win. That's what this is all about. So number one, you got to make sure that you get your payment history in a place where it's at 100%. If you're trying to get to that 850 credit score, that's very important. Now, 100% may not be possible at the current moment, depending on your previous mistakes, but over the next 2 years, or if you got a strong record of a past year, then do that again to where you have 2 years of strong payment history. Why is this important? Payment history right now is responsible for 35% of your score. That's up to 192.5 points. Very important. Now, of course, you want to aim to get things deleted, removed off your profile, but that's not necessarily what this video is about, because I want it to be a timeless method, things that you can do before it gets out of hand, or things that you can do right now to strengthen it to make your future brighter than your present. Now, 192.5 points is very significant. However, that's not enough to get you to the 700 plus. It's only 550 points available. When you do the math, out of all of the scores that are available, it's 550. Payment history gets you 192.5 points. So you want to make sure you're making on-time payments on any of your accounts that's reporting to the credit reporting agencies. That's whether you got a student loan, or auto loan, whether you got a mortgage, whether you got credit cards, lines of credit, whatever it is, you want to be paying ahead of time. So that way they're reporting on a regular basis that you had the ability to pay them over time, all the time. Very important. The second timeless method as it relates to you beating the credit score metrics has to be understanding how to properly use credit cards. A lot of people shy away from it. I get it, because they don't trust themselves. So if you don't trust yourself with a credit card, then how can you expect them to trust you with higher limits? So you got to get out of the mindset of you are not trustworthy when it comes to credit cards. And once you understand that credit cards are to be used in a way that you're spending only what you have the ability to pay back, that changes the game for you. So now you're not spreading yourself too thin or using it for a large emergency. Don't get me wrong. Credit cards, I know personally how credit cards have been instrumental to me in times of emergency, but in many cases that has dug a hole. And in order to avoid digging the hole, the best method of practice is to use the credit cards when you know you have the money to pay off what it is that you swipe, whether it's just gas, whether it's just buying small items. But more importantly, until you build up the muscle of knowing how to use it properly, because it doesn't matter how much of it you use, it's about when you go about paying it back. Now, I know you probably heard people telling you you want to pay it back on the 1st and the 15th, or every 2 weeks, and all of these different strategies. Look, find out this one date. This one date will position you to get the points available. And I ain't even say that part, but that's up to 165 points by properly understanding how to use credit utilization. 165 points, because that's 30% of your score. Now, what you want to do is you want to contact all of the creditors that you have credit cards with, and you want to ask them, hey, what day of the month do you all report to the credit reporting agencies? They'll give you a date. They may say it's the statement closing date. You may be able to find that for yourself. But if you call them and get a specific date, now you have that date that you can put on your calendar, set a reminder, and now you understand how to play the game. Because once you know that date, you now know exactly when to go about paying that credit card off, or paying it down as low as possible. Low, by my definition, 8% or less, single digits. So you want to pay that down, so that way when they report, they're going to report a low balance. This does two things. This helps you tap into the 165 points available. Number one. Number two, it saves you a ton on interest. I hear a lot of times people are like, yeah, you know, my credit card interest rate is high. I don't care if your interest rate is 27%. If you got a zero balance, what's zero? A zero balance, what's 27% of zero? Nothing. So the fact of the matter is the interest rate doesn't necessarily matter. It's the balance that you're carrying over that they charge you on and hit you with the high interest rates. That's a game changer once you truly understand the power in that. And if you do not have a credit card, then I highly encourage you to get some type of line of credit or credit card. Sometimes you can use or piggyback off of a parent or, a grandmother or whomever, that has good credit. They add you to their credit profile. They don't even have to give you the card. Somebody that you trust and know that they're going to hold it down and keep their balances low because they know how to utilize credit. But I really want you to be the one that gets in position. Sometimes it may be that you're a student and you can apply for a student credit card. That could be very helpful. Sometimes it may be that you need to put money down and get a secured credit card, or you can apply for something that has a pre-approval built into it that positions you to not get your inquiry hit or have a hard inquiry that affects you too much. And Capital One has a decent one that I recommend as well. And they report to all three bureaus. So that's very important. And these are just some examples of some clients, in case you were wondering, some clients who have gotten success by working with us. But understanding those two things, payment history, knowing when to use your credit cards, are timeless methods to really beat those credit score metrics. There are other things that you can do. And if you want access to the free credit class, you can get it. But if you focus on those two things, it covers all bases. Credit cards covers all 5 factors. I know I told you it was 550 points. That's payment history, credit utilization, credit history, which is the age of your credit, new credit, and credit mix. Credit utilization, which comes from credit cards, a revolving debt, something that you use and pay off, has the ability to impact all 5 of those factors. And if you do that on a regular basis and get an understanding of what I just said, you'll beat those credit score metrics. Tap in. Salute.